Coming up on AC 24/7, Brittney Griner is back in the U.S., and Russian President Vladimir Putin says there's a possibility for more prisoner exchanges. We've got the latest, and find out what's causing hospitals to be overrun and how to protect yourself from the Tripledemic. Welcome to AC 24/7. I'm Lamont Baldwin. WNBA star Brittney Griner has arrived back in the United States. A plane carrying the WNBA star landed at Kelly Field in Texas. Griner had been in Russian custody since February when she was arrested on drug smuggling charges. She was released as a part of a prisoner swap for convicted Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout. Bout is a former Soviet military officer who'd been serving a sentence in the U.S. on numerous charges, including conspiring to kill Americans. Here's what the White House press secretary had to say about Griner's return.
When Brittney is ready, we're going to give her the space and we're going to make sure that she has everything that she needs to get back on her feet, offering any mental health services or any physical health services that she may need to kind of re-engage, get back into society.
Hospitals across the country are about as overwhelmed now as during the Omicron surge. That's according to new capacity numbers from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. A significant contributor is a triple threat of viruses, the so-called Tripledemic. The Advocate Channel's Amy Kiley reports.
Imagine having 10 families check into the ER every single hour for 24 hours.
Johns Hopkins University says flu cases are higher than normal. RSV has been on the rise, and more coronavirus variants are developing. Hospital capacity is about as low now as during the Omicron peak, according to new government data. Some pediatricians say the so-called Tripledemic is hitting kids especially hard.
We think it's just a bad cold, and it isn't. It can be so much worse.
She's talking about the flu and its potential complications in children.
The pneumonia that can come after, the ear infections that can come after, the dehydration that lands kids in the hospital, the sinusitis that can happen in older kids, even kids' febrile seizures.
Medical experts strongly recommend getting a flu shot. And speaking of vaccines, children as young as 6 months now can get an updated shot for COVID-19. For treatment, Walgreens is starting free home delivery of prescription Paxlovid. The CDC says vaccines and antiviral therapies are still in the works for RSV. But pandemic mitigation strategies help stop all three viruses, according to this expert.
Because it's our individual choices that are going to help protect ourselves, our loved ones, and our other community members.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
As the crackdown on TikTok by state government grows, the FCC commissioner is calling for an outright ban on the app in the United States. The Advocate Channel's Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
Troubles expanding for TikTok in the United States, with Texas and Maryland joining South Dakota, South Carolina, and Nebraska and prohibiting the use of the app on government-issued devices. Indiana's Attorney General has now filed 2 lawsuits against the social media giant for allegedly exposing minors to mature content and deceiving users about China's access to their data.
The Biden administration is focused on challenge of certain countries, including China, seeking to leverage digital technologies and America's data in ways that present unacceptable national security risk.
The U.S. Committee on Foreign Investment has been in negotiations with China, trying to resolve concerns that Chinese government authorities could seek to gain access to the data TikTok holds on U.S. citizens.
The problem is with China, there's no distinction between the government and the private sector. Everybody works for the government one way or another.
FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr says the U.S. government should ban TikTok over national security concerns. Some lawmakers are sharing those sentiments.
The Chinese are really into stealing data and collecting data. And this is one huge way to do that. And they're going to have every keystroke, everything you enter, every comment. I think it is very dangerous.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
A nasal spray used to treat opioid overdoses could be available over the counter by early next year. The Advocate Channel's Mandy Gaither has more on why some believe this could be a game changer in the fight against deaths due to overdose.
It's an important weapon in the fight against opioid overdose deaths in the U.S.
Naloxone is a medication that is saving lives in my community and in my hospital every day.
Narcan is the brand name version of naloxone. It's used to reverse an opioid overdose. The drug maker says the nasal spray has now been granted priority review by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which means it could be available over the counter by the end of March.
Currently, Narcan is available without a prescription in all 50 states, but every state has its own set of policies that can be confusing, and that kind of confusion is exactly what we do not want.
In some states, Narcan is placed behind the counter, meaning a person would have to talk to a pharmacy employee to get it. Last year, there were more than 107,000 estimated drug overdose deaths in the U.S., according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The agency says synthetic opioids accounted for most of the deaths.
Narcan is very simple to use. It is safe, it is effective, it's something that all of us can carry in our pocket in case we come across someone who's experiencing an overdose.
If approved by the FDA, the drug maker says Narcan would be the first 4 milligram naloxone nasal spray available over the counter in the U.S. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The FDA signaled back in November that it would support companies to submit applications to make Naxaline available over the counter. Oscar-winning actress Octavia Spencer was honored Thursday for her year's work in Hollywood. Spencer was joined by Will Ferrell, her co-star in Spirited, an Apple TV Plus Christmas movie, and Allison Janney, her longtime friend and co-star in The Help. Spencer is an Alabama native. She started her career in 1996 with the film A Time to Kill and went on to land a number of roles after. She's best known for her role as Minnie in The Help and Dorothy in Hidden Figures.
26 years ago, I drove from Alabama with $3,000, a 48-inch TV, and I'm talking about the fat ones because flat screens weren't invented, a suitcase, and a heart filled with dreams. This dream. What I didn't know then was how the people that I'd soon meet would become my LA family, my tribe, those with whom I would commiserate when I didn't get the job or celebrate when I did.
Tom Cruise will be honored by his Hollywood peers, but not for his acting. The Producers Guild of America is awarding Cruise with the Cesnick Achievement Award. It goes to a producer or producing team for an extraordinary body of work in motion pictures. Cruise began producing his films with the 1996 Mission Impossible. He'll be honored at the 34th Producers Guild Awards February 25th in Beverly Hills. Thank you for joining us for HC 24/7. For content that advocates for you, go to advocatechannel.com, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. For the Advocate Channel, I'm Lamar Baldwin.